Morning, guys. So, after making the bulletin yesterday, the crowd decided to go quite aggressively long on the indices. Because they went long, we had quite a risk-off day yesterday, and we can see this in the risk calc. We've actually got a zero score on the technicals. So, indices fell, VIX rose, the US Treasury yield rose, the Dixie, performed well. Everything lined up for a risk-off day yesterday. Maybe because of the crowd bought, it's likely, but it is what it is. We've got a strong VIX as well, clearly above 20, and we're in a state of fear. So we come to the, that's just some optimization results. I'll maybe talk about that later when I look at the trading station. So I need to bring this across. And so there's DAX. Yeah, so we made the bulletin. It was around about there. It was fairly late bulletin yesterday, and after producing that, here you can see we really fell. I don't know if that's a coincidence, probably not. So that's what's happened there, and are still holding long. So we may continue lower. We may need to break that low. So that's DAX. Well, they've been long on the Dow for ages. Since then, really, you could say we had the crossover, 48575. I mean, they need to get squeezed. They should be exited at that point. They should have gone. They should have left the casino at that break, but they held. All right, so a little bit ominous. S&P, we had the crossover. In fact, we can just draw the box. And yeah, it's here, isn't it? So we know that's going to be a supply. It's what we'd call a punishment zone, and that's like a resistance. Okay, because they'd gone long, someone has to take the other side of that transaction. If 100 million retail traders do something, there has to be an entity to take the other side of that trade. Okay, and so that's therefore one of the reasons why we fell, and we had a nice reaction off it as well. Gold. We're continuing lower. I managed a TP on this morning, and it was a lot of money, so that's really cool. So it was a 0.02 lot, and it's like, that's peanuts, but it's £275, right? On the nearly the smallest lot size you can do. 0.01 is the smallest. I had a 0.02, and it's nearly £300 on that move. So, and that's on a tiny lot. So pretty chuffed with that, very happy. We may continue lower, to be fair, because we're 72% long. And what you want to do is, ideally, if you've got a short position, you try and sort of milk it, because you can see we're now trending lower. But I hit my profit, I had a target, it hit, so I'm out. Okay, so that's that. That's how we stand with gold. We're probably going to have to break that low. They may even try and buy. If they do, we're going to continue lower. Okay, so that's been said. We'll look at the daily bubbles, and we see we've got a strong CAD and a weak pound, and that's verified on the synthetic sentiment here. That's going to be like the trade of today. So we could look at trading station for pound CAD. And now the thing is, ideally, we want a retracement. Okay, so we might not get it. And also we've got the BOE as well. So this won't be a trade that I would take at all, because I try and avoid the central bank days. But this is what today's trade is. We have a nice little bit of retracement. There you go. So that's been a little bit naughty. Right, so that wick's slightly naughty. How would we look for a setup? We potentially there could be a good one. To be fair, we could look for a short. We could have a big pump. It would just mean that the retail guys get really paid on this. Let's look at the 2 hour. Same setup, isn't it? It's a bit closer. Could be good. It might just be a payday scenario. It is the BOE. So we can have this perhaps. The stop there. That kind of works. And we're going to look for a pump up there. with a stop at that high, and so we're going to do that. And I mean, we guess we could probably do that, but it's a bit YOLO. It's a 7.5 trade. It's likely if we're going to pump, we're going to get stopped. But something like this, where you're hoping for a retracement. Alternatively, we could do the super trend and have a wider stop up there. Maybe something like that's a 3R. So 75 pips, kind of painful, but really, yeah, it's a tricky one. It's probably going to be okay. Like I say, I won't take it, so I'm not sure what to do. We can have a look at the auto chartist. So we know that we've got strong CAD, weak pound. Okay, but let's avoid the pound because we've got BOE. Let's avoid the euro because we've got ECB. So maybe Aussie CAD. That might be good. Okay, so let's see if we can find an Aussie CAD. Maybe have a look here actually. Okay, I mean this might be alright actually. Cool. So we're just chopped really hard on this. Potentially I enter at market of a stop here. That might be an idea. We might not need to visit the auto chartist. Yeah, potentially this might be alright. Because we are risk off as well. And Aussie should perform poorly in a risk off environment. I don't know where the TP is. That's just bonkers. That's just ridiculous. But I guess we could have like an ambitious TP. But that's going to be a good stop loss. So yeah, this is going to be today's trade based on the bubbles and the fact that we're risk off. So you can enter at market. You can enter at market, I think, with a stop here. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think the TP is way too far. I mean, we could do something like this. It's a bit more sort of practical, a bit more sensible, isn't it? So I don't know why you'd have a TP there, though. Perhaps we'll keep that. We'll just have a look at the smaller time frame, see if we've got an idea. Maybe here. That works, doesn't it? So yeah, let's try that. And that's going to be today's setup. So look for pound weakness, but we may see a payday scenario, and look for a CAD strength, okay? And we're going to be risk off because I've just showed you the indices. However, we may turn on risk appetite. And that's the caveat, because if we're risk off, it's fairly possible we're going to be risk on by New York. You know, things aren't stationary. And if we're really heavily risk off, it's a good chance that the crowd are going to go, oh, I should get out of my longs. I need to sell. And if they all do that all at once, then the indices are going to go higher. Then this may result in a stop loss. So it is very tricky. And we'll just have to see how we go with this. And I may take this, but I've done quite well on my gold trade. So I don't really need to trade because I made quite a lot of profit. And it does go to show you can trade gold of a tiny size and make some good money. You know, £275 for 0.02. It's just a case of getting a good entry and then holding it for that length of time and then making sure that you're making a good profit. So there's the video today. I think this is probably going to be okay, but we'll have to wait and see. Remember what I said about the turnaround and risk appetite as well. It's likely. So there's a big caveat around this trade.